Okay, so we're going to go over in this unit 5, Birth of a Modern Age. There are many people we got to know uh, during this unit. So these are the 20 people that we're going to need to know from this unit. First one is the Medici family, including Catherine and Lorenzo the Magnificent. They were a Renaissance family. They were very wealthy. They were from Florence, Italy. They made their money in banking, and they used their wealth to support, which we call patronage, the arts and learning in Florence. Leonardo da Vinci, famous Renaissance artist, architect, musician, mathematician, engineer. He painted the Mona Lisa, the Last Supper. He was known as the Renaissance man. Michelangelo from the Renaissance, Italian sculptor, painter, poet, engineer, architect. Famous works include the mural on the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel, the sculpture of David, and the Pieta. Machiavelli, a writer, a politician. He wrote a book called The Prince, offered advice to rulers on how to stay in power. Advice suggested to do whatever it takes to stay in power. His famous quote is, "It is better to be feared than to be loved if you cannot be both." Johann Gutenberg from the Renaissance invented the printing press that used movable metal type. Books could be quickly printed, less expensive, and helped spread ideas. First books copied were Bible. Books were printed in one's native language, we call one's vernacular. Martin Luther of the Reformation, German monk. He was Catholic. He led the Reformation. He wrote the 95 Theses of Complaints against the Catholic Church. Many of his complaints were about the selling of indulgences. John Calvin of the Reformation. He wanted Catholics to reject the church in favor of a new branch of Christianity called Protestantism. Followers were called Calvinists, attracted Protestant followers with his teachings. King Henry VIII of the Reformation started the Anglican Church, or the Church of England. Pope Paul III from the Reformation, Pope who led the Catholic Reformation by calling for the Council of Trent to reform the Catholic Church. Ptolemy of the pre-scientific revolution. I believe in the geocentric theory, Earth-centered universe, was accepted by the Catholic Church and taught for 1400 years till the scientific revolution. Copernicus. Copernicus was also from the scientific revolution. He devised a model of the universe that we call the heliocentric theory, with the sun at the center and not the earth. Orbits of the planets, he said, were circular. Galileo, scientific revolution, Italian astronomer and mathematician who was the first to use a telescope to study the stars and prove Copernicus was correct. He had a very much direct conflict with the Catholic Church. Sir Isaac Newton of the scientific revolution. He defined the law of gravity. The force of gravity is what holds the solar system together. Francis Bacon from the scientific revolution. To find the truth, he said, you have to examine facts. He developed a scientific method establishing a systematic way to find proof using reason. John Locke of the Enlightenment. He saw a social contract between citizens and government as a voluntary agreement. He believed all humans were born with natural rights, which included life, liberty, and property. Charles V. He was of the Reformation. Catholic Holy Roman Emperor. He used pressure to end the Reformation, started by Martin Luther. He declared war on the kingdoms of Germany to convert them to Catholicism or Catholic beliefs. Jean-Jacques Rousseau of the Enlightenment. He believed it was the role of government to protect the general will or people's common good of people. He believed in popular sovereignty or majority rule. Baron de Montesquieu from the Enlightenment focused on the separation of powers and checks and balances within a government to limit its power. Voltaire of the Enlightenment believed that freedom of speech was best weapon against bad government. He also supported freedom of religion. And finally, Adam Smith of the Enlightenment believed that government should not interfere with business or society in general. He supported laissez-faire capitalism and wrote that any government should stay out of the economy and allow businesses to compete with one another. So these will be the 20 people that we eventually have a test on from the Modern Age Unit 5.